Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I'm sharing some monochromatic winter cards. I'm going to use this Polar Pals stamp set from Pajama Crafter Stamps. I've used this before for a Northern Lights card, but I thought it would be a good complement to this Taupe Tidings paper pack. Now, I only have a few sheets here, and I'm only going to use 2 of them, but they all have a nice monochromatic look to them, and I thought they would pair perfectly with those Polar Pals. Last time I used the Polar Pals, I colored them with Copics. Today I want to color them with some Prismacolor pencils, and I'm keeping that monochromatic, but I'm adding that little bit of pink. There's the foot of one of the polar bears that you can see the pads on, so I thought the pink would be nice on there. Doesn't add a ton of color, but just a little tiny bit. The rest of the colors that I'm using is 1069 20% French Gray, 1072 50% French Gray, as well as 1074 70% French Gray. That pink was called 928 Blush Pink. So I'm using Bristol cardstock. It's my favorite one for blending Prismacolor pencils on, and I'm stamping with some black StazOn ink. I'm using my Misti stamping tool so that I can stamp the image multiple times to make sure that I have a nice crisp image, and my pad, my StazOn pad, definitely needs to be re-inked. I typically don't have to stamp it 3 times to get full coverage, but this time I did, so I'll have to remember to re-ink it so I'm ready for next time. I let that sit aside for a few moments to dry while I clean off my stamps. Clear stamps and StazOn ink are really not a great match, so you want to make sure when you're using StazOn ink with them that you do clean them off right after using them. I have ruined a few stamps in the past by not being diligent about that. I'm using some Ultra Clean to clean them off easily and then putting them back in the package. And then we're ready to start coloring. Now, since polar bears are white, there's not going to be a ton of color there, but I am going to use a little bit of that pink on the end of the foot of the polar bear, like I mentioned before, as well as that 20% French Gray, just to add a little bit of shading to some of the underside areas, little tiny bit on the back. This color has not a lot of color to it, so I'm not adding a whole lot of color, but I am adding a little bit of shadow and a little bit of detail to it. Now, when I color with Prismacolor pencils, I usually start with a very light shade of the color, and then if I want a little bit of darker areas, I will just color a little bit heavier. I don't have to worry about the pencil strokes, especially when I'm coloring with the light hand, because that Gamsol and the paper stump that I'm going to be blending it with soon is going to blend all of that out. If I were using a heavy hand for all of it, I would be careful about those strokes, because when you're using a heavy hand with pencil crayons, you're also doing a little bit of an indent. You're pressing down on the paper more. So I tend to use a lighter hand, sometimes a little bit heavier around the outside edges. I also, when I'm blending, start with the lighter colors and work my way to the darker colors. So that polar bear had the 20% French Gray on it. The seal has the 50% French Gray as well as the 70% in the darker areas where I want to give it a little bit of shading. I don't want the seal to be really, really dark. I still want to be able to see all the features to it. So I don't make it really dark, but I definitely want it to have a different color than the polar bear. I want it to have a bit of a darker color than that. I also want to keep my animals light, because those papers that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using the darker sides of them, I want the animals or my images to stand off of those dark backgrounds. So that's why I'm not making the seal dark either. I tend to like them a little bit lighter. You can make it darker than I make it if you want to, but I tend to err on the lighter side. So the first one that I start with blending is that 20% French Gray. I always work in one color family, starting with the lightest and working my way to the darkest. Because I only have that French Gray or the 20% French Gray in some of the shaded areas, I don't have to go over the entire polar bear. I only go over where I've colored. I'm working in a little circular motion. And I have a piece of sandpaper to my right. Anytime I feel that I have a bit too much color on the end, or if I'm changing between different color families, then I'll use that sandpaper to remove any pigment that is left on the end of that paper stump. When it comes to the seal, I once again start with the lighter of the colors, so the lighter areas first, then I will go in and blend those darker areas into the lighter areas. If I were to start with the darker areas and work my way to the lighter areas, there's a good chance I'd have too much pigment on the end of that paper stump, and I would just make the seal too dark for what I'm looking for. I can always add more color later if I find that it's a little bit too light. But again, I err on the side of staying lighter than going too dark. I realized after coloring all of this and blending everything that I had forgotten to color the fishing pole. So I used the 70% French gray for that. And also after doing all the French grays, I cleaned off my paper stump and made sure to do the pad, or I might have done the pad at the beginning, but I cleaned off the paper stump between those different colors just to make sure that I had a nice clean end to work with. Now I don't have dies to coordinate with these, so I'm going to be fussy cutting them. Again, I want them to show up on that printed paper background. So I am going to fussy cut right to the edge of the stamp line. When you're fussy cutting, you want to keep the scissors pretty much stationary and you're moving the paper around. You're not moving the scissors to go around the image. You're moving the paper to meet it. So my right hand with the scissors there kind of stays pretty stationary, and I'm using my left hand to guide the paper towards the scissors. I'm using detail scissors here, so these are intended for fussy cutting. They're nice and sharp and they work perfectly. You could also fussy cut with a bit of a halo around the outside edge, and sometimes I do that. It really just depends on the look that I'm going for. And for these particular cards, because I have some dark printed paper behind it, I thought it would look better without the halo. So I chose to do it without the halo for these ones. But if you like that look and that is the look that you're going for, absolutely do a halo around it. The main thing to do is try to keep the width of that halo as even as possible around the whole edge. So I've die cut those, or fussy cut those two. I did the other two off screen, and you can see that for the fishing line, I went just a little bit outside. So there's a little bit of halo on that fishing line. And the main reason is I wanted to be able to see it on the background on those dark papers. So I have some Acorn cardstock here that I'm going to use to mat one of my printed papers. I trimmed that to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inches. Then I trimmed the printed paper that's going to go on top of that one to 4 inches by 5 1/4. This one here, I'm not going to do a mat around it, so I trimmed that one to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inches. So I want to do one of them with a brown mat around it. I'm going to do another one that doesn't have a mat around it, just on the white card base. For the snow and ice at the bottom of my cards, I'm going to be using that Bristol cardstock. It's a little bit of an off-white color, so I want it to coordinate with the lighter areas of my images. So I cut a 1.5 inch strip of each one of them for each cards. One is, the length of it is 5 3/8, and the other one is 5 1/4, just depending on which card and which paper it was going to go on. I wanted to do a tiny little bit of ink blending, add a little bit of that brown to my snow and ice here. So I'm using some frayed burlap with a large blending brush on my sticky mat to just add a little bit of that color. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to stamp my sentiments on there. I want to stamp them before putting my cards together, just at the off chance that I make a mistake and I have to replace it. It's much easier to do it when it's not glued to the base of the card. I have this natural pearl ink pad from Lisa Horton Crafts, and I'm using it to add a little bit of shimmer to my snow and ice. I absolutely love this pad, and I'm having a hard time not using it on everything. On white and light cardstocks, it just adds a beautiful shimmer. On white or dark cardstocks, you can see a bit of a white haze with it, as well as that shimmer. So it's just a gorgeous pad to use to add shimmer to different areas. I'm going to use my Misti stamping tool once again to add my sentiments to those snow and ice strips. This way I can stamp them multiple times and make sure that I have a nice, crisp, clean image. There's several different sentiment choices in this set. So for this first card, I chose the one that said, "Life without you would be seriously unbearable," and I love that punniness there. For the next one, I chose the Warm Winter Wishes one, just nice and simple, perfect for winter. Now, the last thing I want to do is add a little bit of texture to one of my printed paper backgrounds. These have a nice satin finish to them with the printed paper, but I thought adding a few snowflakes would be perfect because there are some tiny snowflake stamps in this stamp set, and I thought it worked well with those trees. So I don't want these to be nice bright white snowflakes. You could easily do that if you wanted. I still want the printed paper and the bear of the seal to be the focus. So I'm choosing to do them with holographic embossing powder. This way we're going to have the snowflakes on that background. They're going to catch the light. It's going to be very, very subtle because holographic embossing powder is fairly transparent. So I used my embossing powder tool on that printed paper, stamped the images with some Versamark ink, and then poured that holographic embossing powder on there before putting the excess back into the container. Now, the one thing to worry about or be careful about with holographic embossing powder is it's really static. It kind of clings to anything. So if you get any of that glitter or that embossing powder sticking where you don't want it to go, you definitely want to brush it off before heat embossing. So I cleaned off my stamps, moved them around to get more images on here. You can do this as many or as few times as you want. I do this 2 times so that I end up having 6 snowflakes total. And I do make sure to have some of those snowflakes go off the paper edge. It just looks a little bit better that way. You can have them all within the paper edges if you want, but it does look a little bit nicer when you're using prints and backgrounds if they go right off the edge. So this one here, that embossing powder really started to stick everywhere. So I used my fingers to just clean it up, making sure that I had that powder just where I wanted it to. And you can see with that print there, those snowflakes are very, very subtle. You can't really see them on that print, but when you have the actual card and you tilt it into the light, those snowflakes are going to catch the light. And they have a little bit of a green tone to them because of the color of the iridescence for them. But it just adds a beautiful shimmer to that background, but you still see mainly that printed paper in the background. For this card here, I'm using that star background, gluing down my little ice as well as the seal and the polar bear, making sure that I have lots of space between them and that sentiment. And then I'm going to do the card that I have the matte done with Acorn Cardstock, gluing that to the card base. These 2 cards are going to be horizontal cards. I tend to do vertical cards mostly, so I tried to change it up for these ones. The last 2 cards I did with the Polar Palace stamp set were vertical cards. You could easily change up this design to create them as vertical cards if you want. But I wanted to, again, change it up a little bit different from last time. I'll link the other video that I did at the end of this one so you can see this set done in a different way as well. Completely different from this one because I create the backgrounds for them. But this set is just such a fun one, perfect for winter cards. And I just love the seal as well as the polar bear images. Now, I always love adding extra texture to my cards, so I'm using some glossy accents for the little noses on the bears or the polar bear and the seal, as well as for the water in the ice hole there on the card on the left. Then I'm adding some stickles, and I like to use Stardust stickles. It's iridescent. It doesn't have color to it, so you can see anything underneath there, but it just adds a beautiful sparkle. It's very similar to that holographic, except just slightly different color tone. So I'm going to work on some of those star/snowflakes in the background of that printed paper. I'm not doing all of them because when it comes to stickles, in my opinion, less is more. So I'm just doing it on a few of them scattered around that background so it gives them a little bit of extra texture and draws your eye. Then I'm putting some of the stickles on the horizon line as well as around the feet of the bear and the seal. And I'm going to do the same thing for the second card. I'm going to do it on the horizon line, a little bit around the bear, a little bit around the seal, and a little bit around that ice or that hole in the ice. For this one here, I didn't do any of the background because I already have those embossed snowflakes in the background. You can't really see the shimmer from that natural pearl pad, but it just adds a beautiful shimmer that catches the light on that background. You're really only seeing the light catch on the printed paper, which is kind of a shame. It's too bad you don't see the stickles as well as the shimmer from that natural pearl, but it just adds some beautiful texture. Sometimes I find stamped images can be a little bit flat, so I always like to add things that give it that extra texture. So here we have 2 monochromatic cards. Very, very simple for the winter and very quick to put together, but beautiful winter cards. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate the time that you spend with me. I hope you have a fantastic day.